Hi, everyone. We're going to wait about 1 minute until everyone's let in because Zoom has a delay. So I wanted to welcome everyone for joining. We have a record number of signups now. I don't know what's changed since last month, but it's pretty exciting. We have a thank you, Reno, for the congratulations. You can ask any questions you have in the QA, but wow, there's still a lot of people coming in. But it's 1 minute past, so let's start. Maria, could you share your screen? I'll give a quick intro about Hostaway. Most of you already know who we are, but I'll just repeat that before we get to the core of this presentation.
Unfortunately, I need permissions. So if someone can give me permission to share the screen.
Yes. Oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing for me as well, so I'm not able to share either.
This is live.
Yes, this is what happens when you go live.
So we have
so this webinar, Barry's asked if he can't hear anything. I think people can hear. Just to let you all know that this will be recorded, or it is recorded, and it will be available on YouTube afterwards. Okay, now Barry's can hear us as well. That's great to hear, and thanks, David. So yeah, we're going to go ahead with the webinar and hope that we get our screen sharing working. Assad, let us know if you need help. And in the meanwhile, since we don't have a screen, I'll get started. So the name of this webinar is Beat the Competition with Google Vacation Rental and Hostaway. We have here Maria calling in from Barcelona. My name is Marcus. Oh, now we can see it. We got the screen share. So yes, Maria, if you can go to the first slide. So here. So we got Maria calling in from Barcelona. She's our VP of product and knows most of the answers to your more technical questions. My name is Marcus. I'm the CEO of Hostaway. I'm on vacation this week, but when I heard this webinar with such an exciting announcement, I just couldn't stay away. So I got home early, and I'm currently based in Toronto, in Ontario. We also got Josh, our Chief Customer Officer, who's also taking this webinar very seriously. He's actually in the hospital right now and won't be on camera, but he'll be available here unless the doctor calls him. So yeah, let's move forward. I'll give a brief introduction here about Hostaway. We are a vacation rental software. We cater to property managers and property owners of all sizes, from 2 properties, and our biggest customers have thousands of properties. We are now, the screen share is not showing the slides anymore. All right, could you go to the next slide, please? The one about Hostaway. Thank you very much. Yeah, we have people all over the planet. We try to cater 24 hours, and we're headquartered in Finland, but have offices in Toronto, Barcelona, Sri Lanka, Texas, and Sydney, Australia. One thing I could mention, if you haven't chosen a software provider yet, don't ask us who's the best. Go to the logos here at the bottom of the screen. Go and ask Airbnb, go and ask Vrbo, go and ask Booking.com, who has the highest tier of partnership. In other words, who provides the best connections, whose customers are the best for these platforms. And they'll tell you, they actually won't tell you Hostaway. What they'll do instead is they'll refer you to a website or a web page that you can also find on Google. For example, if you just Google Airbnb preferred partners, you'll find a list of all the software there that you should be working with if you're considering using a software. But yeah, about the webinar, like I said before, it will be recorded. And any questions you have, we're going to answer a lot of them in this presentation, but please put them in the QA section. Now we'll go on to a live demo and I'll show you. So I will share my screen here. I hope you can see this. I guess you can. So a lot of you may not know this, or maybe you know, but Google is fairly popular at searching for things. That's what people use when they search for things. And I just typed in here, and you can do this test yourself wherever you are. Do this test yourself. I decided that I'm going to search for vacation rentals Knoxville. Now, typically, what you'd expect to come up here, highest up on the page, is one of the places where you normally get bookings. But it turns out, no, actually, there's something else here. This is Google's vacation rentals. So anyone who's searching for vacation rentals in Knoxville, they will see this instead of seeing this one or this one or this one. I'm searching for Canada, so I get a .ca site here. But you can do this same test wherever you are on the planet. Here's a good one. Visit knoxville.com, TripAdvisor, but Google has taken place #1. And what's even more fascinating here is that here we have Haven Vacation Rentals, which is one of our customers. Now, I'm going to show you how this works. So let's say I was looking for a place to stay in Knoxville. I can put in the dates here. I believe you can also leave them empty, but this one looks pretty good here. Now, if I wanted to book this, I can go directly to the website. And as you can see, it's a Hostaway booking engine. In this case, it didn't take the dates, but I can fill them in. And I can directly go and book. And if I want to see what's included in the price, I see all the taxes and everything here. I can either book directly or send an inquiry. Now, you're wondering, where's the catch? Because this is amazing. You get highest up on Google. Well, the strange thing is there's really no catch here at all. This is free. When you get someone to your own website, to your booking engine, and you get that booking, you pay Google 0% commission. But if you happen to be a property manager, that doesn't prevent you from charging your own commission. So you can charge a channel distribution fee for any direct bookings of, let's say, 15%. That would be in line with what the other OTAs charge. And at the same time, you can charge your management fee, which usually is around 20%. So in other words, you're increasing your gross margins here by around 80%. And this is where Google is really powerful. Once again, in order to test this out for yourself, just go to Google and type in your location and the words vacation rentals. You can try short-term rentals, you can try short-term stays, and see what's come up. Now, when we saw this the first time, that's when we realized we have to be the first to go live with Google Travel. And one thing I wanted to mention is that if you're wondering how we went live just now, and how come, for example, Haven is already live, they're part of our early testers program. So Josh, if he's available, he can talk about that later. But if you're interested in accessing key features that will help you beat the competition in the future, reach out to our support team. And just before I let Maria show how this works, I wanted to remind everyone, if you're not using Hostaway, you're probably missing out. So please go to hostaway.com and sign up for a demo. We have a very experienced sales team who will honestly tell you if Hostaway is not the right thing for you. And if it is, then you'll know exactly why. And that's why I recommend that everyone signs up for a demo on hostaway.com. Now I'll let Maria take over again. We can't hear you, Maria.
I know, I couldn't find the unmute button. All right, so thank you very much, and thank you, Marcus. Very happy to be here today. Just to expand a little bit more on why do we think you should be on Google Vacation Rental, right? So the first one for me is pretty obvious. It's the biggest search engine in the world. It's the biggest advertising site in the world. Around 88.6% of searches are conducted on Google versus other search engines. So you have the potential to be searchable and to be available to millions of people out there. And the reach it's tremendous. It's free, like Marco just mentioned. Google does not charge any commission on the Google Vacation Rental product. They don't charge any fees. And it allows to, because Google doesn't manage the booking process, so all it is, and you saw just now, is the advertising piece. It direct guests to your booking engine, so you can expect an increment of guests coming from Google directly. For those of you maybe that's you don't know, or for those of you actually that you know the booking engine, you probably know how easy it is to set it up, and how in a matter of minutes you have a working solution for getting direct sales and adding to your revenue without having to share that revenue with other partners. And also it allows you to, as Marcus was mentioning, to add a markup as well to the Google reservations, because you can utilize the markup settings of the booking engine into the for the Google reservations as well. So you can definitely have a greater profit retention there. It allows you also to have a complete control over the payments and the guest relationship. And that's because if you use the booking engine, you can set it up in a way that matches your guest relationship process. So for instance, if you run a vetting process for your guest or require rental agreement signatures, you can set up the booking engine to accept only inquiries, to be request to book, and then utilize your normal processes for vetting customers, use our rental agreement features to make sure that you send the rental agreement, they are signed, and add that to a condition to the automation, and therefore then you can confirm the booking, etc. If you have an instant booking preference, then all you have to do is to make sure that the booking engine is fully transactional, and the guest will be confirming the booking directly in the booking engine booking page, and you can capture payments automatically. So the booking engine, by the way, it's a free out-of-the-box solution that we provide for all of our customers. So again, this has no added cost whatsoever to you. And we think that Google, in a way, is going to be, and it is actually today, an essential tool to outpace competitors in the vacation rental market. And this is because Google Vacation Rental today, it's very easy to use. You will see it in a minute, but it will evolve as a product most likely in the future. And so if you start adopting now, or if you start listing now on Google Vacation Rental and start learning the ins and outs of how it works, its complexities, how to track guests, etc., we think that you will be in a much better position of when Google evolves and whatever is going to be in the future in the product. So for those of you that were not thinking about listing on Google, I definitely recommend to jump on the opportunity, because, like I said, it's free. It doesn't have any other costs. You will be targeting a lot of people through a lot of potential customers through Google, and it provides you with complete control over how the guest experience is going to be. So you will have your own cancellation policies, your markup settings, and you can even cancel reservations without having any penalties, right? So we definitely encourage you to start using it. I wanted to mention as well here from our beloved customer success team, we have an early adopter program that the customer success team at Hostaway runs, and because we are product as well, we love feedback from our customers, and we don't do anything that it doesn't provide value to our customers, and we value your feedback like more than anything, actually. So we encourage customers to become early adopters of features. That means that we provide you early access to anything that we release to production, and you will be in the center of the operation and make it, and we will be listening to you directly. So you will be able to talk directly to the product team, to the customer success team, to provide feedback on features. Basically, that's how we like to do product here at Hostaway.
Thank you very much, Maria, for highlighting. I'll just add 2 points here. First of all, I remember talking to Google directly back in 2018, and they said they were going to launch, or they were going to become an OTA. And they had reached out to us because they knew that an OTA is an online travel agent, just like all the websites where you can rent vacation rentals. And I said, do you realize how incredibly difficult it is and how many big companies have failed at doing that? And what they told me is, well, usually if Google does something, they tend to succeed. And that stuck with me. And now that I see it in its simplicity, it's actually really genius. That being said, they are going to do a lot of iterations. And what Maria just said here is really important. Get on there now and learn what are the different things that you can increase your visibility there. Because, and probably what your experience will differ depending on which market you're in. So in some markets, they will have high demand and others low demand, but this will change over time. And what's more important is that they will probably change the functionality over time. So if you know what changes are going on because you're actively using it, you will always be ahead of the curve compared to your competition. And one thing that we forgot to say here is that actually the reason why we implemented Google Vacation Rentals was the feedback from our customers. Here at Hostaway, we don't make decisions in a bubble. We don't view market studies. Instead, we talk directly to our customers. And that's why I encourage you, especially if you're interested in working with the latest technology, to join the early adopter program. Sorry to interrupt you there, Maria. Please go on.
No problem, and thank you. All right, so I'm just going to show you now very quickly how it works and how you can actually start listing your properties on Google as well, and see the results that Mark just showed at the beginning of this webinar. A few things to consider, right? So regarding prices, nothing will change. We will use the calendar prices that you have today. If you use third-party pricing tools like the Price Labs, the wheelhouse of this industry, these will continue working as they do today. Nothing for you to change there. For those of you that already have the booking engine, there's nothing else that you need to do. The process will continue to be the same to the booking engine. For those of you that not have the booking engine, you will have to set it up. And that's it's very easy and very simple to do. But if you need support, please make sure that you contact our customer success team or our support team, and they will be able to guide you through how to do that. You can use security deposits. You can use our rental agreements tools as well. And regarding reviews, one important point to know here is that another benefit of the booking engine is that you will be able to collect reviews from Google guests. So, and the process to do that is embedded in the booking engine and our automation system. So you will be able to request reviews from Google, and we will store them in our system. Furthermore, we aggregate reviews from Airbnb and Booking at this point, and we have in the roadmap this coming quarter, Verbo as well, reviews. And all of those reviews are aggregated and we show them in the booking engine. But we allow you to decide which ones to show in the booking engine. And the ones that you select to be shown in the booking engine, we will be sending to Google. So the first time that you list your properties on Google, they will already have a reputation built on them. So you don't have to work towards that because it's already been taken advantage of the job that you've already done elsewhere. All right, so I need to now show you how it works on the actual dashboard. So Google is now available for all of our customers for free under the channel manager. So if you go to channel manager, channels here, and find the Google logo, click on configure, and you will find a list of your listings, and we show you the number of images, because that's the only requisite that, or the only requirement, the minimum requirement that Google requests to be approved to be listed on Google is that you have a minimum of 8 listings. If you don't have 8 listings, make sure you have 8 listings, because if you do, like this test listing of mine, I only need to do this. I only need to click on publish, and that's it. It takes about 24 hours, between 24 to 48 hours for the listing to appear on Google. So you have to give it some time for Google to process the data and to show it in the Google vacation rental pages. Another important thing to know is that you will be showcasing your name and your company logo. And you will have to do this from Hostaway, or you can do this from Hostaway. No time you have to go to Google to do anything. Everything happens from Hostaway. So you give a company name, you have to follow some requirements as well here. Company logo, if you have one, click on save, and it will be sent to Google for review. They will review this, and they will come back with the approval. But the logo, for some of you that you may not have a logo, don't worry. You don't need to have a logo. If you don't have a logo, you will see what Marcus showed before in the listing. Actually, I can show an example here. Actually, not here, but here, right? It's another of our customers as well. If you don't have a logo, Google by default will show this icon here of the bed. If you have a logo, you can upload it if it complies with the requirements, and it will show here. So at all times, you're going to be branded. So there's no Hostaway will not appear here. And that's it. So remember that you have to activate the booking engine. That's when the booking engine is activated, you can start. You have to make sure as well that the guest payments are activated. So if you have already auto payments set up, the only thing you need to do is to either add the channel to an existing auto payment or create a new one. The same for automations. You have existing automations. The only thing you have to do is to edit the automation and add the channel or create new automations for Google. And that's it. Everything else will be handled as normal. Financials will flow to financial reporting. Guest communication will be managed through the inbox as always. Nothing changes in here. No effort. It's all free.
All right. Thank you very much, Maria. We have a ton of questions here. There's, first of all, I will address a few of these. So first of all, thank you, Gabriel and Laura. You put in questions here. I'm not sure why our chat isn't online, but we normally have it available, but you have received bookings, and that's great to hear. There's a lot of questions related to guest verification, and I think here Aid asked if you can set up the booking engine for inquiries, but then direct people to Airbnb to make actual bookings. Well, Aid, to answer you, yes, you can certainly, if someone comes to you with money, you can certainly tell them to go and give 15% of it to someone else, and then you only take 85%. That is absolutely possible. And actually, one thing that I've seen many property managers do is they have a great website where they show their properties, and then the link to book goes to one of the major OTAs. What you're actually doing there is you're giving up between 15 to 20% of your income to an OTA, and maybe that's okay if you have the extra money to do that. But a lot of our property managers are making a huge amount of additional profit. Keep in mind, you can double your gross margins by just getting those bookings yourself. And so if you want to, first of all, pay to get traffic, because that's what you're doing. If you're advertising, just by having a website, just by talking to people, you are advertising. If you want to pay for that and have another company make money of it, that's completely okay. I'm not one to judge. But I can see a lot of the questions here are related to guest verification, payments, reviews of guests. So I'll try to answer it all in one go. If you want to make extra money, which is, we can just look at the hotel industry. All the hotels want to make extra money. How do they do that? They do that by getting direct bookings. This is exactly why you will see ads for hotels. When you buy a plane ticket, they will show you, hey, you can book this hotel at a lower cost. Now, they are doing that because it improves their margins substantially. And this is, especially if you're a property manager, but also if you're an owner, this is marketing that you're already doing. You already have a demand for your product. Even if you have just one property, you already have a unique product because nobody else has that specific property. And by acquiring that property or managing it, you have already the marketing expenses built up. So why don't you let them pay for themselves? Why don't you accept the money that is being given by guests? Now, when it comes to payments, chargebacks, when it comes to guest vetting, that is what you can do as a property manager. If you get a direct booking, you have all the rights in the world to either accept the guest or decline the guest. Now, think about airlines and hotels and car rentals. All of these three accept direct bookings. You can directly go to an airline or a car rental and just rent what they have. You can go to a hotel and you can rent a room for a night. But they do two things that I see that most property managers are not doing. And then things go wrong and they wonder why. Two things that every car rental, every airplane, and every single hotel does is they ask you to sign a piece of paper and they ask you for your credit card and your ID. Now, on this booking engine, you'll automatically get the credit card. But what you need to do in addition to that is have them sign the agreement and have them show their ID. The good news is if you're a Hostaway customer, you can automate this and it won't cost you a dime extra. You can get our vacation rental agreement sent out with an e-signature, and that's what they need to do. That's what a guest has to do. If you want to get on a plane, you cannot just buy a ticket and then go on a plane without showing anyone your ID or showing anyone your credit card. That's never going to work. Same thing with a hotel. And I would recommend you, if you are a property manager who is letting anyone off the street just into your vacation rentals without any verification, please stop. It's giving the industry a bad rep. Have them sign a rental agreement. It can be done so that you don't need to do anything at all. It's an automatic message that's sent out through Hostaway. And if they don't want to sign it, that's fine. You just cancel the booking. There's no penalties unless you give yourself penalties for canceling bookings. And someone else who is interested in actually showing their credit card, showing their ID, and signing the rental agreement can stay there instead. I think that answers a lot of questions. For example, Marnie asked, how is a host able to vet your guests without ID verification? Well, you do have ID verification. What you need to do is you need to look at the credit card that comes in. If it says Marnie, then you need to have the rental agreement. You need to check, is it signed by Marnie? Then what you need to do is automatically tell them, hey, in order to confirm your reservation, just send a copy of your ID. And if that ID says Marnie, then you know you have a match. The credit card, the signature, and the ID match. If they don't match, probably you're working with a scammer, or probably working with someone who's booking for someone else. You can just reject that reservation. But yeah, this goes for Google, this goes for direct bookings, and this goes for practically any OTA that you collect your ID. It's very simple. You set up the automations just for those channels where you don't get the ID automatically. All right. Please ask more questions. I'll let Maria answer a couple here.
Yeah, there's one question here about reviews. There's a few questions about reviews as well. So can you control the reviews that go to Google? Yes, because this is the reviews that we're going to send to Google are the reviews that you have in Hostaway. They're coming from Airbnb, from Booking, or the ones that you get from the booking engine. So from the booking engine, the process is that you create the automation. So you set up the booking engine, start receiving reservations, create an automation to request the review from the guest. The guest clicks on a link and they go to a page on the booking engine to enter that review, and they leave the stars, etc. So they can write a review. You will get a notification, you will get the review, you will vet the review, and you decide whether to publish that review or not in the future. And those the ones that are published, the ones that you decide to publish, those are the ones that are going to move to Google and appear on Google. Regarding Google reviews, the actual Google reviews for other properties, if you're already listing on vacation rentals, those reviews we cannot get for the time being. And if you have a business profile and you're getting reviews on the business profile, that's also not clear how to get them for the time being. But we're working on Google on to understand how to match those as well.
All right, thank you, Maria. I'll take 3 questions here from the top. Curtis, I'm sorry you've had trouble reaching out to our sales team. I know you must be frustrated with your current choice of provider, which seems to be, let me see, Guesty. But yes, we will certainly help you switch over to Hostaway. Please reach out to sales@hostaway.com. You can CC Marcus at hostaway.com. That's me. And we'll make sure, I already told the sales team to reach out. Now, Heather, you're asking if you can link your current listings on your own website to the Google listings. Yes, absolutely. As long as your current website is using our booking engine, that's exactly what this is designed for. Eric, you have some feedback about the text size in the booking engine. Perhaps Maria could tell Eric here, what if you have feedback about any part of our product? What should you do?
You can reach us through through any of these emails, either customer success at hostaway.com, support at hostaway.com, and also we have a product email inbox as well, product at hostaway.com. Any of those are good. Also within the dashboard, we have a few feedback tags that you will see on some pages. You can leave us feedback through there as well.
All right. Now, Denise signed up with Whimstay, which is one of the partners on the Hostaway marketplace. And she's asking, is that the same? No, it is not. Whimstay is a fantastic service. What they do is they provide last minute bookings. So they take your current availability. Let's say today it's Thursday. Maybe this weekend you have one property that's available and you're willing to sell it at a 40% discount on Whimstay because that's what Whimstay's guests are looking for, but you don't want to lower the price on your own booking engine or on other OTAs. That's where Whimstay is great. We have over 100 partners on our marketplace, and now Google Travel is one of them. But yes, if you're signed up with one of the partners, you're not signed up with any others. Ken has a good question here. When I look up my property, I see bluepillow.com. Who is that? That's a good question. I've been asking myself the same question. It seems that bluepillow.com is what is called a meta search engine. There's a couple of other meta search engines in the space. They're called holidoo.com, hometogo.com. And what they do is they aggregate search results. So you can go to one page and find results from many different engines. They seem to be advertising themselves on Google Travel. And perhaps some of you have used a website like Expedia for booking a rental car. It's no different. They don't have their own rental cars. Instead, they are what's called a meta search. It means that they search through many different databases to give you that result. Now, if your property is on bluepillow.com, reach out to them if you don't want it to be there, but it's probably going to link right back to your booking engine. So in other words, they are paying to advertise your property and they're getting nothing for it right now. Maybe if they generate a ton of bookings, they're going to come and ask you for a check later on if you want to continue getting that, but I see no harm in that.
One question I want to clarify. So I've seen a few comments as well in the Q&A regarding the minimum requirement. The minimum requirement is 8 images, not 8 listings. It doesn't matter. If you have one listing, you can use Google Vacation Rental as well. The minimum of 8 images.
All right. Then Rodrigo had a question about on whether Google Travel has relevant market share in Brazil. To be perfectly honest, we don't know. And the way when Google does something, they do it big. That being said, if I were to take a guess on which company on this planet has the most amount of data out of all the companies, my guess would be Google, because Google has access to data that Facebook and Twitter don't have access to. And I'm fairly certain they're going to use that information to their best advantage, or actually in this case, to your best advantage, since they don't have a cost for this service. In other words, we don't know if they work in Brazil. And if I was Google, I wouldn't go and spend time on trying to communicate that. Instead, measure the traffic. How many people in Brazil are searching for vacation rentals? Where are they searching? And then launch it. There's a reason why I typed in Knoxville when I Googled for vacation rentals. Is because some locations, when I type in that, Google Travel doesn't cater to those regions. Maybe it's because there's not enough properties live. And maybe what you can do in Brazil is you can go live on Google Travel, and within a few weeks, you might find your Google search results change, and suddenly Google Travel is live there. All right, Maria, you want to take a few?
Yes, I was actually answering some now. So one thing also to clarify, the logo and the name, they have to comply with the requirements that we have written in the settings. Okay, so you may need to change a little bit the name because Google doesn't accept very long names, and I know that in this industry it's common to have long names for your brand, and we are working on Google to make sure that they adapt to that as well. So I think one of the good things that we have now is that we are now official partners with Google. We have regular touch points with them on a bi-weekly basis, and therefore we can bring all of these comments from you guys to them directly, because they need to see also the experience as well. They need to see the feedback directly from the users, and so please keep bringing it to us, and we will make sure they hear them.
All right, we'll try to answer as many questions. We have actually Zoom capped out. They say 99 plus questions, which means there's 130 of them now. We'll try our best. So do all accounts have access to Google? You don't see it in the channel manager? Yes, all accounts have access. If you don't see it, please reload your browser, press Control F5. If you're an Apple user, you can do Command F5. It should do the same thing. Otherwise, contact support@hostaway.com. Eric has a question here. Why does he see the internal name of his listing on Google? Perhaps Maria has some insights on that.
So I need to double check on that. So I saw that question and I posted it to my team. So we're going to check on that directly. It should be the external name, but it's I need to double check that.
Then Ken has a fantastic question here. When looking at Google Maps, some properties show the price in a bubble. Most others only show a pink dot. I really don't have the answer, and I don't think Maria has either, but I think this proves, or do you? No, that's what I thought. So this proves the point that you should get live on Google Travel early, because that way, when they make changes, and could be that those pink dots, maybe you're the only one seeing them, or the region that you're searching in is the only one seeing them. Please find out what they are and share the message. Or if that's what sets you apart from the competition, don't share it. But really good point here. Now, Adil is asking, can we only use this feature with the booking engine or even with our own website? Maria?
So you can use it with your own website or let me put it that way. So you actually can use it separate from your website, because remember that the booking engine in this page, you already have a website, is the booking engine provides the transactional part for Google, because Google doesn't have that. So we need to provide Google with a way to have that part. And the booking engine provides the transactional part. You can have your own website, but they will not be receiving direct reservations from Google. So if you want your website, you can link to our booking engine, either by using the search widgets, or by embedding the booking engine into your site, or simply by redirecting the user to the checkout page.
All right, then Dimitri is asking if there's any help provided to set up the booking engine. Absolutely. It should be fairly straightforward. You can also read the instructions on support.hostaway.com. Just type in booking engine, click on the first link, and it tells you what to do in steps 1, 2, and 3. But you can always reach out to support if you have any further questions. Now, anonymous attendee asked if there's a rating systems for hosts that we could see a guest rating for direct bookings in Hostaway. If not, any suggestions? There was another question here, if there's any payment system that helps you fight chargebacks. Now, the answer to the same to these two questions is yes, we do have a system in place. We have the same system that every single airline, car rental, and hotel in the world are using. You need to ask the guest for 3 things: their credit card, the booking engine does that automatically, the rental agreement, which can be automatically set up in Hostaway, and a copy of their ID, which you can ask them to send as a message. Once you have those 3 things, you're covered, you're safe. Now, on that note, if someone does find a system that has placed a guest rating on all 8 billion people on the planet, I would like to see it, because it sounds like a nightmare. I would especially like to see what my own guest rating there is. But as far as I know, nobody has created a registry. I think over in China, they're trying to create a registry, or maybe they have a registry of everyone within China, but that's only accessed by the government. There's no global guest rating system available as of today. Now, Jesse and Amy, you have a really good question here. You're live on Google, that's great. But how do you elevate your properties in the Google search? You're finding your first property on the 3rd page of the search. Now, if I were to guess, I think at some point, not yet, you can elevate it using ads, which actually means paying Google, which would make sense. But I think also that Google probably isn't reinventing the wheel here. If I were to guess how Google has built this, they have looked at what other successful companies in the space has done. What I would also say they have done is they have looked at unsuccessful companies in the space, and they made sure that they don't make the same mistakes. So first of all, I'll give you the generic advice. This is not only for Google, this is for every single OTA out there. Think about the incentives they have. In the case of Google, it's slightly different because they are not yet making any money off this. But they do want to drive your reservations, like many of the webinar guests here have shown. You have already received reservations. But the other OTAs that charge a commission on this money, they certainly want to make as much money as possible. Now, how do you get a guest to book a place? First of all, it has to be good, it has to be in the right place, at the right time, and it has to be available. If I were to take just a blind guess, Jesse and Amy, I think the properties that are higher up are more available. If you have a calendar that's fully booked and you put your property live on Google Travel, and Google Travel goes and shows that to guests, well, guess what? It's fully booked. Nobody's going to make a booking. So they will probably take other properties that do have availability and show them on the top instead. Other things could be price. It could be number of reviews. You can get the reviews on Google Travel as well. But this is just on the top of my mind. Now, here's a great question from Beth. Google Vacation Rentals didn't come up when I did a Google search for vacation rentals, Irish Beach. The first sites listed were Vrbo, Vacasa, and Airbnb. Once again, where you are based and what location you're searching for will make a difference here. So once again, if there's not enough properties in Irish Beach, I personally don't know where that is. It sounds really cool. I hope the sand is green. Then, well, they can't show anything if there's no properties live there. So maybe you put your properties live first and see if it shows up a week later. Maria, would you like to take a few questions? We have 140 now after answering.
I've been writing answers. Sorry, Marcus. Okay, so one question here: when the webinar will be available on YouTube? Probably tomorrow. It will be already available on YouTube. Some questions about how to set up payments. So it's if you already have guest payments set up, it's just adding Google as the channel to a existing auto payment, either by or you can create a new auto payment for Google. There are some other questions as well about are the instructions on how to upload the guest reviews we want to add to Google. No, you don't have to do anything. We will do it for you. So really is that simple. You only need to go to channel managers in channels, click on publish, make sure they have A listings, and that's it. We will take care of the content, of the reviews, of the pricing, etc.
There's an interesting question from MR. I like the letters. What if we already have Google reviews for our properties? Do you happen to know that, Maria?
Well, but those Google reviews are going to be in, if I'm not mistaken, in the business profile. And today, the business profile and Google Vacation Rental are not connected. And that's by design, by Google's design, basically. So if you already have those reviews, we will have to work with Google to see how we can bring them to Google Vacation Rentals as well. And I'm sure they have a plan about it, I suppose, in the future.
All right. Now, Sergio, you're saying you're not sure how to take advantage of the booking engine. You do not have public visibility. Please recommend how to use it. Could I embed into my web page? Yes, absolutely. If you have a web page, I can only assume it's sergiosfantasticluxurystays.com. If you have a web page like that, where you advertise your services to property owners, please put in a book now button and link that button to the booking engine. You'll get the address of the booking engine. It can be book.sergiosluxuryvacationrentals.com. That's really how easy it is. Anyone who wants to book, just let them book with you. Get the 15% yourself. That's, after all, why you're working, is to make money. Now, there were two questions here about the minimum number of listings for Google Vacation Rentals. You can, even if you have just one, you can still go live on Google, but you do need 8 images per listing. Now, Eric seems to be getting rejected by Google on both the name and the logo.
I told him that we will look into that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Here's a good question from Renu, who tends to ask good questions. And this is a question I had earlier myself. I'm seeing that prices are not available right now on Google for my listings. Is there a way to do that? I have noticed that myself on Google Travel. Sometimes you see the price and sometimes not. Maria, could you elaborate a bit on why are prices shown sometimes and sometimes not?
I'm not sure. I'm 100% honest to you. It could be that maybe you publish the listings or you change pricing. I'm not sure about it, but I will have to look into your accounts. Yeah, give me, I will get back to you, Reno, on this tomorrow.
There's a good question here from Justin that I think a lot of people want to know. Can you do it directly through Google? In other words, can you sign up for Google Travel if you're not a Hostaway customer?
No, because you mentioned the Google Vacation Rental doesn't accept. Actually, they have a limit on the number of listings that you can showcase on Google, right? So, and we aggregate listings, so therefore we comply with that minimum, and it's a high minimum. So that's why what you will see in Google and like Google Vacation Rental are usually other companies like Vivo, I think it is. Probably you will see some other aggregators as well of listings, because you really have to have a minimum to you be able to use a product. But because the advantage to do it through Hostaway is that it's we comply with the minimum, so you can basically, if you have 1 listing, 2 listings, 3 listings, you can be added to Google Vacation Rental through Hostaway.
Yeah, just to be clear, if you're a Hostaway customer, you don't need a minimum number of listings to go live on Google. You can, but if you are a big property manager and you have hundreds of listings, you're probably not big enough to go live yourself on Google. But you can reach out to Google directly. But if you have thousands of properties, I would guess, yes, you can go live on Google yourself. Once again, if you don't have 1,000 properties, but you do want visibility on Google Travel, using a platform like Hostaway would be a great way to go. Now, there's been a few questions here from Maria regarding the photo order or which photo is being shown on the property. Maybe you can answer those.
Yeah. So the photo order is sent on the feed to Google. We don't fully control how Google shows the information on Google. They also don't disclose it very well. So it's a question that we have for them, actually, because we do produce the content, and then the how they show it is completely under their control. And sometimes we've seen what you mentioned before about prices, sometimes about listing names as well, sometimes about pictures. we need to clarify those things with them. Actually, we're having a meeting with them tomorrow, so we're going to bring all of those questions. They're going to be grilled for 1 hour from us on that. So we will have some answers for you for sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, having worked with a lot of big companies, including some of the biggest in the space, and Google today is not one of the biggest in the space, I can say that sometimes big companies don't have all the answers either. So you need to have your expectations right, especially considering that this whole product didn't exist even a year ago. So hopefully they'll sort out the things, or at least help us understand how it works. A lot of people are asking about how to go live. They can't find it in their dashboard. They've gone live, wondering if they can see the listings. First of all, if you can't see it in your dashboard, please reload the page. If you still can't see it, reach out to support@hostaway.com. Secondly, once you go live with your listings, it will take some time. So they get a feed from us, they get the data from there. It will take at minimum 24 hours. And where can you see your listings? Thanks for asking, Trisha. You can see them on by Googling your location and finding exactly what I just showed you. So vacation rentals, Knoxville. Probably you can type a different location. Just type in vacation rental Knoxville, click on the map, and then scroll the map to wherever you are in the world.
A few questions about a standard listing agreement, a standard rental agreement. We have one. We have a standard rental agreement that you can customize for your listings, for your properties, and it allows for e-signature. So you can send it through to the guest. The guest will sign, and also it will be you can use it as a condition on message automations to, for instance, send check-in instructions. So if they don't sign the rental agreement, the automation doesn't go out. So you don't send check-in instructions unless they sign the rental agreement.
All right, now. Wow, there's a lot of questions. Can you import external calendars to Vacasa? That's a very specific question. Thank you, Lara. Import external to Vacasa. That is something you would have to ask Vacasa. But what I can say though, if you're using Hostaway, we have, unlike most PMSs, we have a generic iCal export. We also have an open API. What it means is that if you're a user of any system such as Vacasa, you can always export our calendar, and we will keep that feed up to date. Now, if the other party chooses to import the calendar, that's up to them, but we allow that. Another thing that we allow is for any partners such as Vacasa to integrate through our open API. That's why we have so many partners on our marketplace. That's one of the reasons why we're able to have Google Travel today. So I hope that answers your question, Lara. Now, Amy is asking very secret information here. What is the Google Travel volume that you have seen so far? Is traction increasing since it's been in existence for a few years? I didn't know it has been in existence for a few years, but I can say that I can't give out the exact answers, but we are surprised over the breadth and the width of the amount of bookings that are coming. In other words, we are seeing way more bookings than we expected. This is purely from Hostaway's perspective. We have thousands of customers, and they're all really different. However, what is interesting is the different type of property managers that we are seeing getting bookings. People with one property, people with hundreds of properties, people in one location that's very touristy, and people in locations that most people haven't heard about. It's very interesting to see just how deep their network is.
One final question here. Someone is asking where they can get this t-shirt.
I think that's a question that I don't know the answer to. We need to have marketing on here. But what I can say is, if you're going to IMN next week, then please join our staff there. If you're going to VRMA International in Orlando in October, then join us there. And if you happen to be in Cancun in November or December, where there's Expo RV, I wouldn't be surprised if you see us there as well. We do have a couple of trade shows in Europe coming up, Scale Rentals, for example. But yeah, we will send out, follow us on social media to find out where you can meet us, and perhaps there will be a t-shirt. No promises made. This is a recording, but perhaps there might be one available. Now, there was a question about where to adjust the markup for the Google Travel.
That happens in the channel manager. You can go to the channel manager, listings mapping, find the listings, click on settings, navigate down to the booking engine and adjust the markup there. Save, that's it. I want to say that I'm collecting all the questions that you guys have on images, on prices, etc. So we're going to run it through the team tomorrow, and hopefully we will be able to publish an answer next week for everyone.
Yeah, it seems for every 20 questions we answer, we get 30 more. Now we have 160 open questions here, and I'm sorry that we're not able to help you too much in all these questions. Now, I do want to say that a lot of these questions can be answered. If you're not a customer of Hostaway yet, our sales team is very well equipped to answer these questions. If you are a customer, please reach out to support@hostaway.com. I do want to give the disclaimer here. Like I said, this is a new product for Google, and Google is a big company. There are questions that we don't have the answer to, and if they don't have the answer, we're not going to be able to answer it. For example, the sorting of the pictures on the listing. But what I can promise you is that we'll work our best to make sure that we do have the answers. But if it's a question regarding your Hostaway account, for example, if you don't see Google Travel available in their dashboard, then please reach out to our support team. Now, there seems to be a lot more questions. This one was earlier here. It seems that VO.com and Blue Pillow are selling my properties. Is this normal? Yes, those are meta search companies. They are trying to create a viable business model where they can buy traffic and get traffic. Probably they're going to send, I suggest you try to book your own property. Probably they're going to send you back to yourself so that you book with yourself. And then they just collect the data there on how many people wanted to book. Because it's very hard to measure data when we try to enter any kind of marketplace business like Google has done. Because in order to find out what people want to buy, you need to have the product to sell. So that's probably what these companies are doing. They're finding your pictures and your name, and they're advertising it under their own name. But that's actually good for you because they're advertising your stuff, and most likely the guest is going to book directly with you. You won't even know that there was another team that paid for all the marketing there. Just a lot of questions here about 8 properties to use Google Travel. No, there's no limits. If you have 1 property, you can use Google Travel as long as you're a Hostaway customer. Yeah. Well, it's just the number of questions. Now, a few people asked here, how can I automate the agreement with direct bookings and Google? Maybe Maria could share how easy it is to set up rental agreements.
Very quickly, let me share the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So the first thing you need to do is to go to the listings, edit the listing, and go to here, guest portal, because the rental agreement is sent through the guest portal. If you don't have it on, you will see it like this. If you have it on, it will show you this is the default rental agreement. You can customize it to your needs. So once it's done and saved, you can save the setup, the configuration. You can use standard fields or basically variables, custom fields, listing custom field, reservation custom fields as well within the rental agreement. So it's fully flexible and fully customizable. All right, so once you have that, all you need to do is create an automation that includes a link to the or the URL of the rental agreement, which you find it here. right? So you would create a automation to say, thank you for your booking, whatever it is. You ask the customer to sign the rental agreement. And this will generate automatically the link for that particular listing. So once this is created, you can save it, send it manually, and all you have to do is create the automation, use different triggers. So I guess you will have to want to have it maybe before the guest arrives to the property. So you would set up the trigger to be X number of days, hour, minutes, depends on, very flexible to how you have this process set for yourself, for your listing. And then something that I definitely recommend to do is that if you need the rental agreement to confirm the reservation, that you set it as a condition. So you can set a condition that rental agreement is signed. And if it's signed, then it will send the message, the automation, to maybe send the check instructions, whatever, after they sign the rental agreement, through after they sign the agreement. So I don't know if I have an example of it. Maybe I don't. But let me see if I can find one here. So my listing is house and noise. Do I have any reservation for house and noise? No, probably not. Okay, so yeah, I cannot show it live here today, but how it works is that so the guests will get the message. They will open a page with the rental agreement. They will sign it, and then we will get a notification in Hostaway. We will send you a notification that the agreement has been signed. And then if you have it as a condition on the automations, depends on the condition. Anything after the rental agreement has been sent or signed, the rest of the automations will go through. If you have a rental agreement, then once it's signed, it will show on the guest portal as well. I don't think I have one here, as far as I can remember, but it will be added to the guest portal. And that's it.
All right. Looks like we're running low on time. Someone asked if we can't answer the questions. Well, now we're finally going down 162 questions. That's great. There's a lot of questions here. Please reach out to support@hostaway.com. If you have a question that's more related to operating your business rather than the actual functionality of the software, please reach out to customersuccess@hostaway.com. And yeah, you don't need to set up your Google business account. You don't need to set up a Google Ads account. You can just go live with the listings. But you can also set up those. And our support guide on support.hostaway.com should clearly outline everything. Now, I wanted to thank everyone for joining this webinar. And if you missed the beginning, please have a look on YouTube tomorrow. We post all our webinars there. And thanks again, Maria, for joining. And see you everyone next month. Have a great day.
See you everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.